we're going to talk about mosquito products that are DIY and show you what works and what is an absolute waste of money, and don't spend $1 on them. Mosquitoes are something that everybody agrees can absolutely ruin a night or ruin an event. Whether you're out in the backyard having dinner, outside playing, or you're at a wedding or an event, as soon as the mosquitoes start to come in, it's annoying and it absolutely ruins it for everybody. It takes their focus off what they're doing. So we're going to jump in with a few strategies that will help you. And to be clear, we're going to be going over products. We're not going to be going over bug sprays. So stay tuned. We'll give you some great tips and help you enjoy your events all summer and spring. So I've been doing pest control since 2012, and we've seen so many different things. And two huge products jump right out at me when it's talking about mosquito control. You go online, on social media, and people sell the dream. You just need this and it's going to solve your problem, or you just need this, and they all leave. And we're going to jump in. Number one is UV lights. We go to so many beautiful properties where people have invested in these UV lights, hung them all around a dining area or around a yard where children are playing, and they think this is great. The mosquitoes are going to be attracted here, they're going to stay away, and we're going to be able to enjoy our yard. Unfortunately, mosquitoes don't care about UV light. That is not what attracts them. They are attracted to CO2, scent, and dark colors. So you put those lights up, they do absolutely nothing, and they are fairly expensive. The second product we see that is also a complete waste of money are the absolute dream if they work, but they don't, and it's the ultrasonic repellers. If you go online and start looking around, they say you buy our device, you plug it in, it puts out an ultrasonic noise that is fine for humans, but the mosquitoes hate it. As soon as they get into the zone, they fly in and just leave right away. Unfortunately, that is not at all true. It does not work. If you're not sure, you can buy one and test one, but make sure you can get a refund. We want to jump right off the bat and say avoid these at all costs. Although the dream is sold, they do not work. Before we jump in and talk about some of the products that are out there to help with mosquito control, we want to understand why mosquitoes are around. Two main reasons. One is standing water for breeding, and a lot of people don't understand this. A little bottle cap full of water is more than enough for a mosquito to go lay its eggs in there. Other spots like water in the gutters, areas that fill up with water on the lawn, bird baths, water barrels, all of these spots mosquitoes love and will load up with eggs. The good thing is that the cycle for the mosquitoes is 7 to 10 days. So from the time that a mosquito lays its egg, it will be biting you within 10 days. But if you go and clear all of this standing water every 5 to 7 days, the eggs will never hatch, and you're going to knock down that population that's going to repopulate and reinfest your yard or wherever your event is. So get rid of that. Number two are their hideouts. Mosquitoes love to stay cool and protected from wind. So areas like cedar trees, shrubs, thick trees, dense grass, mulch, ground cover are exactly where a mosquito hangs out. If during the day when the sun's out, they dry out, so they want to hang out there where it's damp and cool. Also, they're terrible flyers, so they hang out there when the wind is high, and they wait for sunrise and sunset to come out when the air is still, the sun is down, and they come in and attack. So if you can really maintain your yard, keep everything trim, and allow sunlight and wind through, you'll eliminate that moisture and you'll make it an uninhabitable environment and reduce the number of mosquitoes that are hanging around your property. These are key things to help drop down the overall population in your area. So let's talk about products that you can purchase from a hardware store for mosquito control that actually work. We're going to talk about how they work, and we'll manage your expectation by showing you what functionality is actually happening when you're using them. Number one that most people use are Tiki torches and Citronella candles. These can be very effective, especially if you set them up as a zone and you're trying to protect an area. You can almost create a wall around where that citronella and smoke comes up, and it creates a barrier. The mechanism it uses to work is that it removes scent and confuses the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are attracted to high scent like hairsprays, gels, colognes. CO2 coming out of humans is number one, and then any sort of fermented body odor. So when you create a barrier with this citronella, it just stops them from picking up on what's attracting them to come in. So if you use a lot of them and you place them properly and the wind is just right, they can be very effective. But they can still fly through if there is open gaps. Now let's talk about the Mosquito B Gone spray. The sprays can also work. The way that they're supposed to be used is they're for the hideouts, those shrubs, cedars, trees, grasses where the mosquitoes like to hang out. You shake it up, you spray it on top, and there is an active ingredient that kills the mosquitoes, and it has a little bit of a residual, so when they come back into their hideout, it's designed that it will eliminate them there so they can't fly out and get you. The one thing to be aware of is the domestic grade products have an extremely low concentration of the active ingredient, so you're not going to get a long residual. You'll find yourself reapplying this quite often, and sometimes depending on the price, it can add up if you're doing it night over night over night. So it works, but with limited use. Now we can talk about the Mosquito Coils. The Mosquito Coils can also be an effective alternative, and we generally would recommend those if you're having an event on a specific day or time, because they are one-time use. They actually have the active ingredient inside there of pyrethrin, so when you light it, it's smoking, you have a similar active ingredient as the spray, but it's continuously blowing throughout the air. And because it isn't actually an active ingredient, it can kill the mosquitoes or at least have a repellent effect to drive them away. Whereas the Citronella is just masking your scent, this actually has an active ingredient. You can use them in a similar way where you can create a barrier around the perimeter so that the mosquitoes coming from a hideout into where you're having dinner or whatever you're doing, they hit this, it deters them and they fly away. So can be effective, but you just really need to know what you're doing and for use. If you're going to be using a spot over and over and over again, and you have a constant issue with mosquitoes and you don't want professional control, it's probably worth your money to invest into a Thermacell. Thermacell is a rechargeable product where it takes a little cartridge inside, heats it up, and it creates a barrier zone similar to what you would get with the coil. The benefit of the Thermacell is you can turn it on and off, so it's not just a one-time use, and then you can buy refillable cartridges. So if you're having dinners consistently throughout the spring or summer, you can continue to use this. It does create a great barrier. Depending on where you're actually using and how big the property is, you may need a few of them, but overall, this is probably the most effective for a DIY product. Only caveat is it's a little bit harder on the budget because it's more expensive up front and you need to get the refills. But again, if you're using it all the time, you're going to end up saving money opposed to continuously buying one-time use products. So now that you know what definitely doesn't work and what can work, I'm going to give you one tip that I think is the best. And it's not a product that you buy specifically for mosquitoes, but it can work very well. It's having a big fan. As we spoke before, mosquitoes are terrible flyers. Wind is their enemy. They cannot fight it. So if you can get a large box fan, or you have overhead fans that you can turn up very high, it moves the air around and they just cannot fly in. They're not strong enough. In addition, it does something similar to the Citronella where it blows the scent all over, and that can also be confusing for the mosquitoes. They smell the CO2 and other scents that attract them, but because the wind's blowing around, they may not target in on you and hone in. Super inexpensive, super effective depending on your environment. If you want to learn more about mosquitoes and other summer pests, hit subscribe and check out our other videos. Until next time.